yeah. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Now that's what we're talking about. That's the kind of Knicks domination we've been looking for. Oh, yeah. Here we go. Here we go. All right. What up? Oh, ladies and gentlemen. Ladies and gentlemen. Hello and welcome into the Knicks-Verse. Wow. Now that is what we needed. That is what we have been talking about here on Into the Knicks-Verse. When the New York Knicks do not need their two superstars, their two All-NBA players to deliver. I mean, they could not even, they scored, what 21 points combined? Karl-Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson, and the Knicks could, pull off a tremendous, resounding 27-point victory on the road in Toronto against the team who had leapfrogged them in the Eastern Conference standings. Now that is something special. That cannot be undermined. That cannot be downplayed. Undermine is the wrong word. Downplayed. You cannot dismiss that kind of a response. And it was done. Well, I got to tell you, OG Anunoby was otherworldly for the first half. I mean, he was keeping us around in this game. The Knicks were only down 4 at the end of the first half. But they could only score 47 points in the first half. And then just exploded in that second half. And Mikal Bridges, his WINGSTOP partner, and shout out to Josh Hart, who finally got his act together because he was making mistakes, fouling. They looked tired in that first half. And then something re-energized them in that locker room at the halftime. And they came out, even though they still stumbled a little bit at the beginning of it, and then suddenly just started chipping away. And then boom! It was like a sonic blast. And they just surged past the Toronto Raptors to secure this victory. Incredible victory for the New York Knicks. It was a 12-2 run in that third quarter that sparked this whole turnaround, and then it just continued from there. Outstanding. The WINGSTOP trio, but it was really the duo. I mean, shout out to Josh Hart as well, but Mikal Bridges comes through with a big 30-burger after being asleep for 9 points 2 games ago. And he looked like he was going to repeat. He hasn't been able to string several games, good quality games together offensively in a while. And then he looked aggressive. He was hitting threes. He was driving into the basket. He hit 3 straight buckets in a row with some nice passing from Cat and Karl-Anthony Towns. I think he only scored 8 points tonight, but unbelievable beast on the boards, his passing, his defense. The third straight game in a row the New York Knicks have held an opponent under the century mark. That's defense. This is what we've been looking for. Defense wins championships. Defense puts rings on fingers. And the Knicks have shown that when they need to do it, they can. And this is on the second game of a back-to-back. This is without Deuce McBride, without Mitch Robinson. Cannot downplay this victory. Welcome into the Knicks-Verse. My name is George. If this is your first time here, please subscribe. Follow me on social media. Turn on a notification bell so you're alerted when I go live, or hit the thumbs up button for me. Drop your comments. I am using a new software here. Not new for me. It's not new software. So just let me know if the audio levels are okay, if the music's too loud or too low or whatever. Just let me know. Drop it in the comments. Thank you guys for joining me here tonight for a live post-game show to celebrate the 4th victory in a row for the New York Knicks, who are now back in second place, tied with the Boston Celtics, who lost tonight. And they couldn't have come at a better night. 8 days from now, the trade deadline happens. And there have been rumors swirling around today. I wanted to put out a video yesterday so badly, and I couldn't. And I wanted to put out a video today so badly, and I couldn't, to discuss all of these rumors. Well, we're going to talk about it tonight. That's right. We're going to talk about it tonight. I may still put out another video tomorrow because who knows what tomorrow brings. Who knows what tomorrow brings. But this, what tonight brought, was an astounding victory by the New York Knicks over a Toronto Raptors team that went to OKC and pulled off a victory, delivered the second straight home loss to OKC, the first time in a while. They pull off that victory. Emmanuel Quickley, my beloved Emmanuel Quickley, player of the week last week. He was the hottest shooter in the NBA. Tonight, nothing. Nothing tonight. And why? Because the Knicks felt urgency. They felt it. They were tired in that first half. The legs, they were playing more with their hands instead of their feet and legs. They were fouling. Josh Hart was making dumb fouls. It was a parade to the free throw line for the Raptors. And yet the Knicks were within 4 points. So if the Knicks could just start stringing together a couple of makes with the stops that they were getting, because they held Toronto to just 51 points in that first half, the Knicks could turn this thing into a victory. And they did. And they did. Outstanding. Thank you guys for joining me here. We got We got Gideon. What's up, G Money? We got Lionel in the house. We got Slow Runner. Tony Melendez, what's up, brother? Oh, you from Denver? Yeah, I love Denver. Denver's such a great city and great team. I want the Knicks to play Denver in the finals. That's what I want. I want Joker versus Cat. I don't know if I want Giannis right now. I think I want to play this out. I think I do. I think players are learning things about themselves here tonight. And Mikal Bridges expressed that exact sentiment. And I'm going to play that for you guys. Bear with me if I'm not as smooth with this new software, this different software. Here we go. Knicks 119-92. Fabulous. I am so proud of our guys. So proud of our guys tonight. This is the way you do it. This is the way you handle business. You go on the road and you inflict pain. And they brought the winter storm to the north. And it was led by OG Anunoby. He didn't end up being the top scorer in the game. It was Mikal. And efficiency-wise, Mikal was insane. But if it wasn't for OG doing what he was doing in that first half, we would not have an opportunity to see what Mikal did later on. It was unbelievable. What OG did in that first half was tremendous. In 18 minutes, he delivers 14 points. He gets 2 steals. 6 of 11, 2 of 5 from the three-point line. He kept us around. Josh Hart had 9 points at the half. Brunson had 9 points at the half. But pretty much that was it. Mikal had 6. Towns had 4. The Knicks were pretty anemic. They could only score 47 points in that first half. And they had an 18-point first quarter. They had a 17-point first quarter in Sacramento. And that was so anemic the Knicks could never recover from that. But that wasn't the case tonight. That was not the case tonight. And I'm going to tell you, I think it was the effort that OG Anunoby was putting out on the floor that helped ignite the fire underneath everybody else. And then Mikal woke up. And Mikal delivers 19 points in the third quarter. That's right. You heard me correctly. 19 points in the third quarter. 7 of 8 from the field. 3 of 4 from the three-point line. He was snapping the net with the three-point shot. He even got 2 free throws. Sometimes he goes a month without 2 free throws. He got 2 and a quarter here. Outstanding. Look at that plus minus. Plus 13 for Mikal Bridges. Plus 13 for Karl Anthony Towns. Plus 13 for OG Anunoby. Plus 13 for Tyler Kolek. Tyler Kolek, they dusted him off. They, put some oil in the Tin Man and sent him out there, and he delivers. He gives you a plus 13 in 4 minutes, in just 4 minutes of play. And Landry Shamet, who I thought had rolled, actually, Kolek also rolled his ankle. Landry Shamet, he looked hurt in that first quarter. Or second quarter, I can't remember where he was. But he comes out, his defense, his activity, yes, only 1 of 4 from the field, 1 of 3 from the three-point line, but he delivered. He's on the floor there, he delivers a plus 16. When he was on the floor, in those 5.5 minutes, the Knicks outscored the Toronto Raptors by 16 points. That is truly extraordinary. But the most extraordinary part of this is what our all-NBA, all-star superstars didn't have to do in this quarter. Cat plays 9.5 minutes, doesn't even attempt a shot, and I'm okay with that. I'm actually good with that because the Knicks were getting great quality shots elsewhere, and he was a key instrument in creating that. Remember, Cat, no matter what, when he's on the floor, he's a floor spacer. He creates gravity, and that creates space for others. So even if he's not attempting a shot, he's creating great shots for others. And he delivers a plus 13 with 0 points in 9.5 minutes. And then Brunson, in 8 minutes of play, not efficient, 1 of 4. Only 2 points for him. So the two All-Stars combined for 2 points in the third quarter when the Knicks almost doubled up the Toronto Raptors in that third quarter. Toronto Raptors, who had 2 days rest, mind you, after the Oklahoma City game. And the Knicks played last night. And, I forgot to mention, no Deuce, no Mitch. So, no disrupting of narratives here tonight. No manipulation of narratives tonight. This game is real. This game actually happened against a quality opponent, against an opponent that had the same record as us. You can't twist this. This is a significant win for the New York Knicks. Let's go. Yes. I love it. I fucking love it. Apologies to those who hate when I curse. Sorry about that. Apologies to those who hate when I curse, but that was a resounding victory for the New York Knicks. Out fucking standing. I am so stoked because I'm not sure. I'm not sure I want the Knicks to gut this team for Giannis. I'm not sure that. First of all, he's injured. He's 31. He's going to turn 32. He had a self-professed calf injury. He's going to be out 4 to 6 weeks. Yeah, I mean, Giannis is injury prone. What if we empty the cupboard for him? He comes here, gets hurt again, and then we just never do much. Where this season, it's right here for us. Cat is relatively healthy. Brunson is relatively healthy. You can just go down the line. Mitch is peaking. Deuce is playing like one of the top 5 3-point shooters in the game, and then you get his defense, you get his great decision making. I don't know. I understand the concerns. I understand, George, we lost 9 out of 11 games. I get that. But there could be a lot of other reasons why that happened other than deficient talent, which I don't think we have. I think we have one of the most talented top 8 rosters in the NBA. Show me better. Show me 4 better top 8s in the NBA. I can show you 2. OKC, Denver. Who else? You're going to tell me Pistons top 8 are better than the Knicks top 8? Really? For real? Nah. You're going to tell me Houston's top 8? No. Who else? Who is the other top 8 that are better than this Knicks top 8? Knicks just punished the Toronto Raptors. And their 2 top All-NBA players combined for 21 points. They beat them by 27 in Toronto. Think about that, Leon Rose. Worldwide West. James Dolan. Think about that. Is Cat flawed? Abso-fucking-lutely. But guess what? Giannis is flawed too. He is. And how many championships does he have? 1. And why did he get that 1? Because he freakishly went on a run from the three-point line. Can you count on that again? Why is his team in the shits? Even with him playing on the team. Yes, their roster is depleted, but that was their choosing. I don't know if I want to do it. I don't know if I want to do that trade right now. In the summer, that's a whole different story. If this roster doesn't achieve their goals, absolutely. But right now, I feel hopeful. I cannot name another team with a top 8 that is significantly better or better at all than the New York Knicks top 8. You're going to tell me Detroit? No. Duncan Robinson? Really? No. Especially not when they play like this. Not when the New York Knicks played like this at this level, guys. Terrible first quarter. Awesome fourth quarter. Awesome third quarter, Lex. It was that third quarter that was truly the difference here. This was an unbelievable third quarter for the New York Knicks. They put this thing together, ran away with it, and it was led by the WINGSTOP duo of OG Anunoby and Mikal Bridges. They combined for 28 points. Mikal delivering 19 of that with insane efficiency. They hit 4 of 9 from the three-point line, 44%. They shot 61% from the field overall, and that's with Brunson going 1 for 4. That's with Shamet going 1 for 4. Wow. Outstanding, and it was their defense. Got to tell you, the defense did it. Outstanding for them. They held the Raptors to just 19 points in that third quarter, and then in the fourth quarter, 22 points, and they outscored them by 15. They continued that incredible offensive run. They were 6 of 10 in the third quarter from three-point line in the fourth quarter. 12 of 21, 57% overall. They got 15 total rebounds. 15 rebounds in that fourth quarter to just 7 for the Raptors. This was a clean, beautiful comeback win. Typical type of win. You know, when you're on the road and the fatigue of the travel and acclimating yourself to the new environment, but then when you go into that halftime locker room and you're like, you know what? We're only 4 points down. We can do this. And yet the Knicks fell. The Knicks were once down by 12 points, by the way. Once down by 12 points. And then they fell down to by 10 again early in that third quarter. And they were able to rally and pull this thing together. Mikal hits a big 3 to cut the lead 53-50. And then OG was keeping the Knicks in the game. He drives with his left-handed layup, got the and one, and there was 59-55. But then Toronto responds, and they build the lead back up to 10 points in that third quarter. And then they even got up to 11. It was 66-55. And then Mikal started cooking. Corner 3. Then Hart with a pick 6. And suddenly it's the score 66-62 with 6.5 left. And then Shamet with a big effing 3 comes in. Shamet, who I thought wasn't going to play, I thought he was injured. I thought he was gone for the rest of the game. He hits a big 3 to give the Knicks the first lead of the game at 69-68 with 3:42 left in that third quarter. New York was energized. They were once down by 3. Then now they were suddenly up by once down by 12, now suddenly up by 3. 73-70 with 2:36 left. And Mikal Bridges with a fast break. Kolek delivers a beautiful pass to him. And a beautiful run. They had a 27-4 run to close out the third quarter to be up 82-70. And that was game. Mic drop. Beautifully done. Tyler Kolek, the high man in plus minus tonight. He plays 20 minutes. He was sitting on the shelf for like 3 or 4 games. Got no minutes. Comes out, gives you 10 assists, 10 dimes, a plus 23. Even hits a 3. Great game for Tyler Kolek tonight. Outstanding. Beautifully done. All right, let's get into some interviews. Let's listen to some post-game interviews over here. Here we go. Thank you guys for joining me here tonight. Second half massacre. That's right. Beautifully said, Lex. Lex, you should be a writer, Lex. Giannis, wait till summer. Absolutely. Absolutely. Who else we got? Not to mention, Drew Holiday could be. Yep. Miss T, thank you for joining me here. Thank you, George. Everyone wants Giannis for us. I see it's sending us into a rebuild. It could set us back. I don't think I have this feeling that it would be better for us. Look, if Giannis gets traded to another franchise, then that happens. It happens. It happens. Remember, he has to sign somewhere. Knicks could still, figure out something to clear the books and sign him when he becomes a free agent. So that's a way to get him. But at this point, I like our chances of getting to the finals. And I think they're just as good with this team as they would be with Giannis in a depleted roster. That is what we would be at. I think they feel very even right now. Maybe not in the long run. If Giannis can recover his health and give you another 2 or 3 seasons of his MVP level type of play, that's a whole other story. But remember what I led that sentence with. If. We live in the now. And right now, the New York Knicks are tied for second in the East. They are on a 4-game winning streak. They have recovered from this devastating stretch where they lost 9 of 11 games. But now they seem to be putting it together when it matters. And they're winning without necessarily right now, tonight's game. Not the previous night, it was Brunson. Tonight's game without their 2 big guys delivering big points. I mean, Josh Hart gave you 22 points tonight. OG, 26 points, and Mikal Bridges, 30 points. That's phenomenal. That is phenomenal. That's 78 points from your WINGSTOP trio. Beautifully done, guys. Beautifully done. I tweeted this out. One point during. This is a Knicks win in a resounding fashion, beating the hottest NBA team heading into this matchup in Toronto. They were actually tied with Cleveland. Cleveland and Toronto were 2 of the hottest teams in the NBA at the time. But Toronto gets the nod because they had beaten the best team, the champions, in Oklahoma City. And this is the 3rd game in a row holding an opponent under 100 points. This on a night where New York's top 2 scorers could only combine for 21 points. Knicks tie Boston for 2nd seed in the East. Giannis needed? And then this I tweeted out at the end of the 3rd quarter. This version of OG and Mikal removes the ceiling on the Knicks. Once down 12, New York now up 12 with 1 quarter to go. And then they finished up. They won the game by 27. 82-70 after 3 quarters. OG had 23 points at that time. Mikal had 25 points. And Cat had 19 rebounds. Karl Anthony Towns finishes with 22 rebounds. 22! He had 15 in the first half, which I believe is the most of any player in a half. That's right. A lot of really fascinating things happen in this game. Mikal Bridges, 30 points, 4 assists, and 4 3-pointers for him. definitely was in his bag tonight. Mikal Bridges on learning how to become more coachable, showing up for his teammates and finding energy to take over the game after the Knicks defeat the Raptors in Toronto. I'm going to play this for you. I hope it works. Here we go.
Early second out of a back-to-back. What changed this game and allowed you guys to take over?
Just staying with it, man. They came out, going fast and pressuring us, and we didn't let that bother us. We just stayed with it and just kept playing the whole 48 minutes, and that's what we did.
Great game tonight, man.
Thanks, man.
When you went home, 3 for 16, 1 of 9. What impact has that had on you?
A lot. I think a lot of it comes from just not just shooting the ball. I think I just wasn't playing how I was supposed to be playing. I think I wasn't coachable enough. I don't know what it was. Maybe I felt too much entitlement, but just had to kind of talk to myself a little bit about it and just be coachable, be the best team I can be, and then, let basketball speak for itself.
Well, you responded incredibly well. What's it like to be Mikal Bridges in a third quarter where you've got 19 points and you've taken over the game? What does that feel like?
Just my teammates, man. Just feeding off the energy from everybody on the court, everybody on the bench. They give me that energy, and I just trying to play for them.
You guys started the game. They went on a 7-0 run. You called a timeout. Third quarter, you were languishing. Where did that energy come from, man? All of a sudden, it became contagious.
Yeah, you had to find it. It was tough early. I feel like we were running in mud in the beginning. But once they, get them legs going and that competitive spirit come out there, you feel like they started to punk us a little bit, kind of piss us off a little bit, and then we just kept going.
Mikal Bridges, congratulations on a very impressive win.
Thank you.
Down early.
To me, those are the words and the self-awareness of a winner. Someone who took a deep look at himself in the mirror and realized he wasn't doing things the right way, and he had to change it up. And this was his response. But tonight was a fantastic game. Last night was a good rebound game after his really anemic 9-point effort. The previous game before that, even though the Knicks did win that game, but tonight he just built upon it. This is eye-opening. It's going to be fascinating to see what happens in the next 8 days. Truly, I am. Truly, I'm at the edge of my seat. And guess who was the defensive player of the game? Oh, OG Anunoby, with something like 7 deflections and 6 steals. That's unheard of. That's crazy. He was all over the place, harassing his former team, showing Toronto what they gave up. Beautiful. Beautifully done. And Hakporti, I got to say, he gave solid minutes. Landry Shamet as well. I mean, all these guys, even Yabusele, gave some solid minutes tonight. There was not a single Knick in the plus-minus tonight. Not a single Knick. That is an absolute eye-opening, resounding victory against a very good Toronto team, against a Toronto team that is a great defensive team. And the Knicks lit them up for 119 points tonight. Outstanding. Josh Hart, got to shout him out because I've been hard on him. I did not like what was happening in the previous game, and I was really happy when Mike Brown sat his ass next to Cat, even though all the media, all they talked about was Cat. Oh, Cat sat the last 6-something. Well, guess what? So did Josh, because he played like a shitbag in the previous game. And then totally turns it around tonight. 7 of 11 from the field, 4 of 7 from the three-point line, 5 rebounds, 6 assists, 2 steals, delivers 22 points. But a lot of that was in the second half. First half was making way too many mistakes in that first half. But he got his shit together, focused, and delivered a tremendous second half for the Knicks to secure this victory. I love how New York basketball put this together. This is beautifully, it's like almost poetry. It's like a haiku. Raptors beat OKC. Rested 2 days at home. host Knicks on back-to-back. Up 44-34 late second quarter. Outscored 85-48 rest of the way. That is domination. The Knicks brought the hurricane up north. Beautifully done. Beautifully done. And even though Towns could only give you 8 points tonight, he gave you 22 rebounds, and he was a plus 19 when he was on the floor tonight. And only committed zero personal fouls. 0 personal fouls tonight. That allowed Mike Brown to have some flexibility, especially on a night without Mitch Robinson out there. It was an imperative that Cat didn't make dumb fouls, and he didn't tonight. So you got to shout him out for that. Must shout him out for that. But this man, the demon, OG Anunoby versus his old team as the Raptors versus the Knicks come alive mid-game to win 119-92. He delivers 26 points on 11 of 18 from the field, 6 steals, 7 deflections, 2 blocks, a plus 18, and he was just dunking the ball, just kept going to the hoop, and he was just so forceful. I loved his energy, his physicality tonight. He had a big corner 3 off a Kolek assist in that first quarter to keep the Knicks around, and then he barrels down the lane for 2. He did miss the and 1, but the Knicks got off to a terrible start. They were down 7-0. I think they were down 10-2. 10-3 pretty early because Hart hit the first New York bucket, which was a corner 3. And then Mikal got backdoored by RJ. But then Kolek subs in at the 6:50 mark. Toronto were up 14-5. And then OG hit that 3 that I talked about. Then he went down the lane. Diawara checks in. Scores like 16-10. Hakporti and Yabusele sub in around the 5-minute mark. And the score was 17-10. Hart. It was a Hart lineup with 4 bench players, and at that point, you can see the Knicks were a little tired, and the bench guys weren't quite up to speed yet, and they kept fouling with their hands, not using their feet, and the Knicks found themselves down 9, 21-12. But then Yabusele did a nice spin move in the paint for a layup, and Shamet slid on the court. I thought he hurt his groin, and the Knicks were down 10 at the end of the first quarter, 28-18. But then that second quarter, things turned around dramatically for the New York Knicks. They only scored 18 in that first quarter and lit the Raptors up for 29 points in the second quarter. And it wasn't like they were hitting their 3-pointers. They were only 2 of 7 in that second quarter. But inside the arc, the Knicks were 11 of 19. Their efficiency was fabulous there. They were dominating the boards, 17 boards, and that was a lot of it was Cat in that second quarter delivers 14 rebounds. And that's what stabilized the game, and the Knicks were able to go into that locker room at the half, only down 4 points, but they had only scored 47 points. Well, you heard what Mikal said. He realized he wasn't playing the right way himself, and he came out and made an effort to correct that, and he started it off by hitting a 3-pointer right away in that third quarter, and that basically set the Knicks off on a path to victory. Victory! Love it. Love it. I actually do have some highlights for you guys. I'm going to play those right now. Here we go.
He did not finish the game on Saturday in Philadelphia, and he has responded in a big way as Anunoby gets another steal. Shaman lines it up. Towns crashing in. What a pass to Bridges. Carl Anthony Towns with the time of the season. You're right.
Cat with some great passes. Actually, that was the only assist he got tonight. Beautiful. Tired legs. Yeah, you can hear Clyde saying that. Here we go. Look at nice steal by Hart right here. Gets out, nice little pick 6. him in transition. He's a lethal weapon. Love when he's playing like that. Here comes Kolek. Deliver. Oh, look at this. 3-pointer. Beautiful. I love the way Kolek attacked this game. Here's OG coming in. Another one of his dunks. I think he had like 6 dunks in this game. His physicality was at a whole other level tonight. Here comes Brunson. Passes it to OG. Boom. What was that? Oh, no, that was Hart. Nice. Beautifully done. Beautifully done. Oh, man. I'm very, very, very pleased with the way this game turned out. This is the exact kind of response you want from a team who has serious aspirations for reaching a finals. They showed it tonight, and they showed it by winning in different ways, by other guys stepping up. It wasn't the same 2 guys. It was a whole other collection of guys. I mean, guys that we depend on, guys who we need to step up. But, I mean, you know, OG's not averaging 25 points a game. Mikal's not averaging 28 points a game. You know, I mean, it's Brunson and Towns that are doing it. And when there's so many weapons on this roster. And this is without Deuce, who can give you 25 points on any given night. And Shamet can give you 25 points. And every single Knick that was available tonight played tonight. Clarkson got minutes. Yabusele got minutes. Diawara got minutes. I don't think Dadier was on the bench tonight. I think he was in Westchester. So every Knick who was available got minutes tonight. And they all delivered. Every single one of them delivered some big minutes tonight. As you can see here, not a single Knick was a negative player in plus minus. Here it is. Even Clarkson in almost 7 minutes of play, he didn't make a bucket, didn't score a point. He was a +1. Garishon Yabusele finishes with 4 points in his 7.5 minutes. He's a +3. Mo Diawara attempts 1 shot, 7 minutes of play, a +8. No points. Ariel Hawkporty, 2 points for him from the free throw line. Nice. He got. I think he got a nice block at one point. He's not credited with a block, but he got 5 rebounds, a +11 for him. Give you 2 points in his about 7.5, almost 8 minutes of play. But Landry Shamet in 21 minutes, Landry Shamet gave you 9 points. He was a +20, second highest on the team to Tyler Kolek from the bench, a +23. So what this is showing you is that the bench guys from the Knicks are beating the other bench players of the opponents, and that is the mark of a high quality team. Now you want your starting lineup to be as dominant, and they weren't in the first half. Got to say that in the second half they were, but in the first half they were not as dominant. Brunson was a -7. Didn't even break. He had 9 points. OG, even with his 14 points, was a -2. Josh Hart was a -2. Towns was a -3, and so was Mikal, -3. That starting lineup unit, which I talked about in the previous recap that I recorded on my iPhone or whatever, I'm not convinced that this starting unit is the right starting unit to continue with. They set the Knicks back. The Knicks were down 10 early in that first quarter, and it was really the mix of players that kept coming in, the different type of lineups that Brown was experimenting with that helped the Knicks stabilize and stay in the game. And in that third quarter, actually once substitutions were made in the third quarter, that's when the Knicks just took off. So Brown has some tough choices to make. Tonight wasn't the night to do it because you're missing Deuce and you're missing Mitch, who are one of those 2 players would be one of the 2 players who you would insert into the starting lineup. I personally would try both. I go with a stretch of 4 or 5 games with Deuce starting and see how that works, and then I go with a stretch of 4 or 5 games with Mitch starting and see how that works. This is now. This is not like earlier in the season. Things were different back then. This is now. Games matter more, and players are more familiar with each other. So I want to see those lineups get as much minutes as possible right now during this stretch when the Knicks can still experiment. Because I don't believe that this starting unit is the winning combination to lead us to the NBA Finals. I don't at the moment. But if they play like this, if they play like the way they played in the second half, that's a whole other story. That's a whole other story if they play like that. That is for sure. That is for sure. Should play the matchups, including the starting lineups. Yes, absolutely. 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 That's what I'm saying, Lex. Yeah. Totally. All right. I'm going to wind this down. Is there anything else to look at? Yeah, let's look at the standings here. Let's look at the standings. The New York Knicks. This is not updated. Let me update this. Here we are. Our New York Knicks are back in second in the Eastern Conference. Well, they're tied, really, for second with the Celtics, who lost tonight. The Knicks have won 4 in a row. They're up there with the Hawks, who won 4 in a row, who did beat the Celtics tonight. They're up the Hornets 4 in a row. I told you guys, the Hornets are an interesting team. They have some really high-quality players on that team. It's just a matter of whether they can figure it out, and it seems like they are. They've won 7 of their last 10. They've won 4 in a row. The Hawks have also won 4 in a row. And the Cleveland Cavaliers have won 5 in a row. They're 8-2 in the last 10 games. And the Pistons are still raging hot. They're 8-2 in the last 10 games themselves. They've won the last 2, but the Knicks are just 6 games behind the Pistons. Not sure at this point we'll be able to catch the Pistons. It would require the Pistons to go on a really tremendous cold spell. But second seed is very, 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 very much in the Knicks' realm possibility. They were right there in the second seed. They were a game behind, or even a half game behind the Pistons just a little over a month ago. And then they went into this tailspin after the NBA Cup. But maybe as things ebb and flow, they can rise above this again. And this could be the beginning of that. They're just won 4 in a row. I'm excited to see how this thing develops. Let's look at the next few games for the Knicks. So here we go. Oh, let's update this. The Knicks did beat Toronto. All right, so the next game is on Friday, January 30th. The Knicks play Portland at MSG, and then they host the Lakers. It's a big NBC Peacock Telemundo game. They host the Lakers on Sunday, February 1st. It's a 7 p.m. game, Eastern time. These are all Western time times right here, just so you know. And then we play the Wizards. When I was doing a recap after the Boston win, I was looking at the Knicks winning the next 6 games and being on a 7-game winning streak, and then hosting Denver. And then we have Detroit. We have 3 big games here. We have Denver on the 4th of February, Wednesday, and then that next Friday, the following Friday, Detroit on the 6th, and then we have Boston on the 8th, and then we have Indiana, which they're not the same, but then we have the Sixers again, and then we have Detroit again in Houston. This next stretch of games, that's after the All-Star break, though. That's after the All-Star break. So the Knicks have an opportunity here to establish their dominance and position in the NBA and to quell people's fears and concerns about what kind of team this is. But we also have, in between this Wednesday, Friday game with Denver, Wednesday, February 4th game with Denver, and the Friday game with Detroit, is the trade deadline. Will the Knicks Will the New York Knicks make a major move? That's a big question. I will say this. if the Milwaukee Bucks accept some of those trade scenarios that have been put forth recently, the Mark Stein one, for example, there's been variations of that which involves a third team like the Trailblazers, and it ends up bringing Drew Holiday as well to the Knicks. I could see Leon doing that. Will it make us a better team for this season? I'm not so sure. But will it make us a better team going forward? Because Giannis, I mean, yeah, that could be for sure. But I'm not so sure. So we'll see how this plays out. It's going to be fascinating. Stay tuned. Thank you so much for joining me here. My name is George. Please follow me on social media. Subscribe to the channel. Hit the thumbs up button for me. And drop your comments if you're watching this later on replay. And I will see you around the Knicks-Verse. Let's go. Let's get that 5th win. Let's go on a 7-8 game winning streak. Let's go, Knicks. Let's go.